Victor. I'm here with a new Paint and Talk and want to talk about the Vince Venturella topic of the week, that is movement shenanigans. But I will say that I will talk that how movement have changed so much and it's making the game much faster in Age of Sigmar and also in 40k. I think Games Workshop rethink completely how to move, rethink completely the movement phase to make it, I think, more decisive and use the movement phase to make the game much faster. So yeah, in previous editions, Warhammer Fantasy, and even on 40k, was very rare, very difficult to see some armies charging turn 1. Today, I will say that it's strange not to see a charge in turn 1 or in position just in turn 1, thanks to all the different movement rules. So, and how they are implemented in Age of Sigmar and as well in 40k. So I will say I'm happy with that because it makes the game much faster, much dynamic, and more intensive, more action just from the first turn. And I think I really like that. Also, having all these type of movements like the deep strike or drop pod or how you want to call it, makes you to pay attention how you position yourself, and you have to think what's in reserve. So it's thinking really. For example, in my last game, and this was more on 40k, I was very conscious that there were a big unit of Terminators waiting to come from deep strike. So I was just trying to limit where my enemy can put the Terminators in a way that is minimizing the impact I can do on my army, trying to protect what I was considering most important assets. So I really like that. I think it adds a new dimension to the game and also makes to lose a little bit the control of the game, that I think it's good. I like when the game is not that much control. The movement is so fast, and then also we have to take into account that although the movement is very fast, you still can block a lot with your units to avoid that the enemy units can go where they want. Remember that the units cannot be less than 3 inches, sorry, than from your units in Age of Sigmar. So I think it's all about the game, how you play the positioning of your army to also block the movement of your enemies and to protect some important assets in your army. So I think I'm really in favor of all these movement shenanigans. I think they add a new concept to the game. I really like it. And I'm completely in favor. So I think the thing that it's changing a lot is that now the game is much faster. 40k and also Age of Sigmar compared to Fantasy is much faster. I have to say, even with the same number of minutes, it's almost faster. Although you can lose more time moving the units because they don't go in trace. On the other side, it's much easier to move, much faster, and in turn 1 you are in action. And I think this is the most important thing, that you see action from turn 1. You don't need to wait a couple of turns, and sometimes even in 40k you were needing almost 2 or 3 turns to charge and to be in action. Of course, there is the shooting that is very important in 40k, but I will say that I like it. And of course, increasing the movement and having all these movement things and rules makes like the threatening bubble of each unit is much bigger because they can charge further. So yeah, I'm in favor. I think they add a new dimension to the game, that it's adding complexity. It's an easy rule because each unit will have their own rule, and I don't think it's adding too much difficulty. And I think for little complexity you add a lot of the game because it's adding a lot of importance to the movement and how you place the units and how you place yourself to avoid that the enemy can maximize the unit. It's like the drop pod ability. Remember that they cannot drop less than 9 inches from one of your units. So if you plan this correctly, the enemy will not be able to drop at your back. So it's a thing that sometimes we forget. We think that it's very powerful, but I think the problem is we need to plan we need to plan and think how the enemy will deploy and give options, eliminate options to the enemy by covering holes in your deployment area. So yeah, I don't want to ramble more about that. Completely in favor of the movement rules. I really like them. I think is what makes one of the things that is making the game much faster than previous versions, especially when I compare in 40k that we have not did the change as big as in fantasy. Okay, and yeah, and I think it's adding a new dimension to the tactics that you have to use in the game. So yeah, that's all for now. I hope you also the same enjoy seeing painting the Harlequins. And yeah, give a like if you have liked it. Comment below what do you think. And as usual, I also put the link to Vince Venturella video so you can go there and give your opinion to Vince. That's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye.